Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome to the Directions Live online webinar series by Esri Malaysia. My name is Ami Faisal, and I'm your host for today's session. So, introducing today's presenter is Alvin Kaur, our senior industry consultant with the Enterprise Consulting team of Esri Malaysia, who will be leading the webinar today. So, without any further ado, I shall pass the presentation to Alvin. Over to you, Alvin.
Thank you, Amir. And today I'll be sharing a topic related to ArcGIS field apps and inspections workflow. How the field apps were able to help in certain industry by using the inspection workflows and all the out-of-the-box apps that are provided in the ArcGIS. So without further ado, let's jump straight to it. So in the field inspections, what are the common use cases in certain industry? I might not list all of it, but part of it will be from state and local governments, especially the local PPTs, by using it for their valuation inspections, or for their engineering departments might be actually using it to check on the potholes, the roads, measuring the roads, and also the billboards. For utilities might be the pipeline, the pipe, or the poles, the height of the poles and all that. So it can be in many type of use cases, right? So when we talk about field inspections, what are the challenges that currently we are facing? That oftentimes that we are still using a paper-based form, and the data collection workflow is kind of like very outdated, and then it is not as lean as possible. So it create a lot of challenges when trying to capturing the data, put it in the systems. Okay, so and then after that, you need to visualize it and analyze the data. If you need to transfer the data from one system to another, it's all not in a same ecosystem within the organization or within the departments. All these create a lot of time spent need to generate certain data or generate certain informations or certain dashboard or to analyze it as well. So how do we overcome this? Is by using the so-called the inspections module or field inspections that within the ArcGIS platform. We are able to provide a smart form where you can drag and drop and create a web form easily through the browser, and straight away the form can be actually follow the workflow, all right, so that all the information that you wish to capture on the field will able to be catered in the mobile apps, right? So later on we will have more examples about this. And in the current environments, a lot of those apps, especially in Esri, is that we use a lot of no-code environments where users do not need to be a web developer or apps developer in order to create an apps. Okay, and it is follow the business logic, because the business user will know better what kind of the workflow that is suitable for certain use cases. All right, so what are these standard workflow for field inspections? Okay, so the standard workflow will be something like we start with planning. Okay, we start with planning, and then from planning you go to the location that you want to inspect, and then you navigate. And when your field workers are in the location, you're trying to understand the situations. Okay, then after that, they will try to capture as much data as possible using the mobile apps or form if you're not using the app-based solution on it. Then after that, you will be monitored by the person in headquarters, and then the HQ will coordinate the next job for the field workers again. So this kind of workflow can be actually view or use our entire suite of solutions, For example, you can use ArcGIS Workforce to plan where and when your staff need to go and collect the data. And then ArcGIS Navigator will actually help you to go navigate to the right location using the certain protocol, Jalan protocol, or certain roads that you assigned to you rather than using Waze, for example. And then you using the IGS Explorer to understand where the locations that allow you to sketch. And then after that, using collectors survey 123 to capture your data, then monitor by using a dashboard, okay, and then coordinates your workforce by using IGS Workforce and whatnot. So in today's webinar, what we are trying to show you is actually these 4 steps, okay? So for Esri Malaysia, we are trying to offer this field inspection package, which have this ArcGIS Workforce to help you to plan, okay? And we have ArcGIS Survey 123 for you to capture your data using Spike, okay, a laser measuring device. Later I'll describe more on that, and also a sketch app. So we're trying to cater multiple or different industry by offering these kind of data capturing tools. And last but not least will be you monitored by using the dashboards. So to find out how many assignment that you have assigned to your field workers or your field workforce, then how many jobs have been done, how many is not yet done. So you were able to cater, understand how many has been done and not. All right. So some of you might not familiar with our ArcGIS ecosystem. So you will find out what is actually ArcGIS Workforce. ArcGIS Workforce is actually a plan and coordinate field works applications that allow you to assign a job or assignments to your field workers by using an apps or a web browser. Okay, so you can set your time, you can set the time that you need to finish the job, and then you can track exactly where are they in real time. So sometimes without checking on some HQ or managers or department heads, they would like to track where your current workforce is. You can actually track them by using the ArcGIS Workforce. Okay, because they use the locations to the GPS to detect where are they, and then you can easily assign your assignment to find out who will be in the right location to service this request. Right. The next one will be Survey 123. Survey 123 is actually a form-centric data collections. Okay, it is a smart. We call it a create smart form, where the form that you are able to drag and drop using your own flavor. Okay, and then you are able to not just create the form itself. You can easily integrate with different type of systems. We have a number of webinar series who specifically talk about ArcGIS Survey 123 in more details. For example, like how do you integrate it with webhook, how to integrate with this Microsoft Power Automates, how to integrate with some of the Microsoft Microsoft Office tools, by sending emails, automatically and all that. And apart from collecting the data, the data that you collected can be shared and analyzed. All these things are in the ArcGIS Survey 123. Okay, so in order to help you in the inspections, apart from planning, apart from data capturing form, what else which is important, which is the measuring tools. Okay, we are offering this Spike by IGPS. Okay, it is a smart laser measuring tools who are attaching with all your in iPad or your iPhone or in some these Android devices. Okay, so there are certain Android versions that they only support. Those older versions like Android 10s and below will not be supported and as much as possible try to get the only supports the latest versions of the Androids. All right, so these are smart laser measuring tools that are able to enhance your data capturing capabilities. Okay, so they are able to help you to measure the distance. If you look at the pictures, the distance between window to window, the size of the windows, and also the length, the width, and all that. All right. And Esri Malaysia is the sole distributor for the spike in Malaysia. Okay. So how does it work? First, you need to a spike device. Okay. There is some simple configurations that allow you to configure these options, measuring options in the Survey 123 itself. Okay, so after you finish your configuration, all the data from your laser measuring result, okay, and also the picture itself will be saved into your ArcGIS Enterprise or your ArcGIS Online. Okay, so it all depends on which environment you are in, but these are the two things that are currently that we are offering. Right. So now the third one is, how about those who like to sketch? Okay, there are few works who needed to sketch the outcome or the area that they need to inspect. For example, like those valuation departments. So when they go and check and evaluate a property, that they will need to sketch. Is there any from the extensions that they requested, how big is the area, then they want to use the laser measurements to measure the distance and then sketch it by using tablets. All right, so this is a tools that we develop, okay, for not just valuations, but in fact is for inspection as and other inspection as well. And then the most important is that the sketch that you draw on site can be shared across departments. So without further ado, let's jump straight to the a demo. All right. So we'll quickly show you how from ArcGIS Workforce works together with the Survey 123 and all. All right. So now, first, what you're looking at is what ArcGIS Workforce. So you coordinate your team, all right, and then you assign them to the certain locations. All right. So in the below, you will find out that they can actually hit the button to call up the survey form. All right. So you can actually type in your own building reference. But if you have already assigned certain parameters in Workforce, you can carry the information as well. Then you can key in who's the person that you need is actually assigned. This can be auto-populated, or you can actually ask the end user to assign, to key in as well. So I want to measure the area, and I quickly hit the spike button. If you look at it, it's straight away measuring the area that you want to measure, right? So in this project, I want to measure the extension of the hall. Okay, I want to measure the floor plan that I have extended. Okay, so I can just capture, assign the area that I want to monitor. Then I quickly measure it using the spike devices. Okay, so I know the length of the floor that I have actually extended. So the next one, because the floor is wide, I can't use a polygon to draw it. So I need to switch to another angle. All right, so that the other angle is to measure the width. Okay, now I have the length of the floor. I'm measuring the width of the floor as well. Okay, so these are the things that we're able to see that how all these width can be measured, right? Then after that, after I measured the width, I just click the save button. Then if you look at the output, it will go straight to the Survey 123 form. Okay, so I don't have to repeat and key in the numbers again. All right. So now, once I'm in the building or in the location, I want to sketch. All right. So I try to sketch the area. then this is the time that I can actually call the another apps where we were able to draw or sketch the area. First, you can actually log in, all right, to your by using the your user ID and your password. After that, if you look at the page, is that now because I'm linked from the survey form to the sketch app, so I have an options here, all right. The one on the right, okay, the one on the right is actually allowed me to call out the photo library of the things that I have actually sketched just now, or I can actually start drawing it freehand. Okay, in this example, I'm just going for the sketch library, okay, where I actually measure it using Spike, right? So these are the area that are already draw, okay, using Spike. Okay, so now after I draw that so to call that floor, I can actually the apps have a capability to add in your own the area of the place that you want to draw, I mean sketch, which is your floor plan in this example as part of the evaluations or some inspections workflow. So I can call in not just a floor plan, can be anything, right? In this example, I'm using floor plan. Then after that, whatever that I sketch, I can actually indicate it in the area that I measured. Okay, with the meters that I actually sketch, right? You can actually link it over, right? And then if you look at the buttons and all that, you can actually assign and change the color if you need it, and then move the floor plan and all that. So after that, you are able to set the transparencies, and then after that, you want to lighten the colors, or you want to change from red to blue or pink or other colors that you want. And then after that, you can save the changes that you made. All right. Then after that, after you save whatever that you sketch on the field, the information will go back to the survey 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the process continue from remember from the time that we actually plan the inspections all the way to captures. Now you measure the distance of the object that you want to measure, then you sketch the things that you want to sketch, and then now the final thing is that you want to attach the file that you have actually sketched. Then you just press the button of finding where the file is. All right. Then after that, there will be an area for you to submit all the necessary information that in one single form. All right. So this is one of the beauty is that whatever that you capture, it is all paperless, and then it's all according to your workflow. All right. So then I submit the I finish up this field job by sending the things to the HQ. And then one thing is that this whole process can be worked during if you find in certain area that you do not have any line. For example, you don't have 4G, 3G, whatever G also don't have, you can still work in the offline environment. And then the system are able to save the information in your smartphone devices or iPad. Then after that, when there is a connection, the system will send the data into your ArcGIS Enterprise or ArcGIS Online. Okay, so in this, the monitor part is where the HQ will able to monitor how many jobs that has been done, how many of them already finished off, and are they working, how many of them on the field. Okay, this will give the right dashboard for the person who assigned the job, and as they will know whether they are able to meet the KPI and how many of them is actually finished job on time and all that. This is just an example. And then the beauty of using our ArcGIS dashboard is all the widget here is all out of the box. You don't have to customize anything. You just drag and drop right? And then change the color that you need, and then it might not be just a bar chart. In this example, it can be a line chart, and whichever flavor that you seems fits within your organizations, right? So after the whole of this demo, what does it include in the field inspection package at this point of time? Is we'll give you a IGS Workforce, an app for the field force manager to monitor and assign the jobs to the field workers. The field inspections apps with Survey 123 plus the Sketch app together, all right? And then inspection and workforce dashboards applications, because it is a web-based, and you can actually use it, browse it in the web or using your handset, right? And we will provide tablets plus the Spike devices as well. Okay, these are the whole package that will be made available for the current package. All right, so what is required? Package is one thing, but the prerequisite is that you must have at least one of these, which is an ArcGIS enterprise environment. And sometimes some customers say, hey, I don't even have ArcGIS enterprise. I'm using ArcGIS online. Can I still use it? The answer is yes, because ArcGIS online is a software as a service. All right, and everything is on cloud. Okay, so you can still use the similar approach, that if you want to go a minimum entry to try out the ArcGIS, this field inspection package, right? And there are more informations that you can actually check out from the URL here, where you are able to find out more information about how the latest ArcGIS Survey 123 works, the e-learnings, okay? And if you need more information about the spec, the spike, you want to know more about their specification, how it works, what else can I do with this, right? So there are a lot of those information that are listed here. You can actually have a look. Okay, so in that case, that's all for my presentations, and I'll pass it back to you, Ami.
Thank you, Alvin. That was an interesting presentation on the field apps and inspection workflow. So we've had the opportunity to see how we can use the Spike device together with our smartphone to see and actually do a remote measurement. So we've had a couple of questions coming through, and if you have been listening intently to Alvin, and if you haven't had the chance to type out your question, there's still some time you can do that through the questions pane. So just to kick off, we have one question from one person who asks you. The question goes, Alvin, how many dashboard can be created? Over to you, Alvin.
Okay, because in IGS Online or IGS Enterprise, there is no limit that how many dashboard that you can create. It's more to like how many you want to create, because what you need is actually from the data that you captured. In this field inspection, for this example, you can actually create a dashboard to monitor just the field workers. You can create another dashboard, all right, to visualize and analyze the outcome of the data that you have captured. For example, that let's say I'm inspecting a billboard, right? That how you in the form itself you have already stated whether it's illegal, have business license, applied license, or is actually above the standard requirement and all that. You can actually visualize it from your data that you captured using the the field inspections form, and visualize to locate how many of them is actually complying to the rules, how many not complying to the rules. It can be in many forms. So it all depends on what kind of business case that you want to do. So this is just some example, but you can actually do more. There is no limit actually how many dashboards that you can do. Okay, but in this package, we are just giving you one as a start. But once you're familiar with it, with some training and some guidance, I think it is a very simple workflow for you to create more dashboard for yourself. Back to you, Ami. I hope I answer your questions.
Okay, thank you. So we have a look at the next question over here. A person asks you, how far can the spike measure? How far can
Okay.
spike do the measurements? Over to you,
Okay.
Alvin.
Yeah. a very good questions. That if you look at the smart devices, I mean, when you Google it, right? So I can the measurements maximums that you can go is no more than 100 meters. Okay, because it's using a laser measuring something like a device that are able to measure, especially when you're on field. Okay, with so many distractions like mirrors and also those lights, right? So the accuracy might deteriorate. So the recommended length, I mean the distance will be a 100 meters maximum. Okay, that's our that is the recommendations of the measurements, and furthermore, try to avoid those mirror or glasses, because if you're measuring a glass or a mirror, it will not be accurate. Okay, that's one of the things that because the laser will point, the distance will run, it will not be accurate. All right. Okay, and for further information, actually we can actually include in the list of the device specifications if you're interested to know more about it. Back to you, Ami.
All right, thank you for that. The next question is hi, what's the licensing strategy for the ArcGIS Enterprise? Over to you, Alvin.
Okay, good questions. The license strategy for if you're talking about for these field apps, for example, okay, first you need to have a creator, okay, to create an admin as an administrator to monitor and assign all these jobs to the field workers. And the second type of users that you would require is the field workers, so to call field workers use license. Okay, you must at least have these two in order for you to be able to run the show. And the third one will be if you talk about viewer. Okay, the third type of user will be the viewer for those who need, I mean, the executive or the management who wish to monitor the outcome of the data capturing or the inspection workflow. So that basically these are the three basic ones that you'll be required for this whole inspections workflow.
Okay, thank you, Alvin.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next question we have here. How does the dashboard licensing work? Is it a free application? Over to you, Alvin.
Okay. Good questions. The dashboard is for you to view. Okay. So the licensing wise is actually like if you allow the dashboard to view by the public, okay, then you do not require any license. But if you like the dashboard to be within the organizations, okay, whoever log in need to have a viewer license. All right. And then if you like the dashboard to be only for certain people who have within your groups, for example, and for example, like take these inspections modules, for example, it will be like for the field workers to be able to view the dashboards, that at least you need to have the field workers license. And creator is the one that I can see it all. So it's all depends on what kind of view that you would like the dashboard to be viewed by the next persons. So if you want to, because in some organizations, they share it across the whole organization. So as long as you have a login in the ArcGIS Enterprise or an ArcGIS Online, you're able to view it because they share it in the organizations. Okay, so if you want to share it to public, then you do not need any license. The dashboard to view it, what I mean is that to view the dashboard, I don't need a license if you share it to the public. But if you want to share only within your local council, for example, at least that user who want to view the dashboard must have ArcGIS Enterprise or the ArcGIS Online access in order to view it. Back to you, Ami.
Yeah, thank you for that, Alvin. So basically, to put it as a simple word there, it actually ties back to the user types that being offered.
Yeah.
So I mean, to create the dashboard would need a specific user types, and for public, you might not need a user, or if you are making it within an organization to view, then we will need the viewer user type. So yeah, it's kind of straightforward over there. Okay, let's take a look at one more question over here. The question goes, let me see. What kind of use cases do you have for PBT or local councils that has actually implemented this? Over to you, Alvin.
Okay. In some of the local and also overseas use cases, right? Especially for local councils. One thing is that we've seen people using it. I mean, the local council use it to check on the billboards. Okay. So because what we know is that certain so to call license actually required when they want to do a billboard advertisement, and in occasionally the size doesn't follow the what has been permitted sometimes. So they need to measure that is it over too much or too no, not complying, or they can actually they are measuring between those the potholes or those the size of the potholes, and then they also measuring those so to call some of the road assets, and then quickly assign it to the case to the other department for them to do the maintenance and all that. And in some occasions also you can actually be the times like COVID, like now, if you want to inspect whether the premises or the restaurants, or even though if there's an event who applied and then an approved event, you want to measure that whether the social distancing is actually within the compliance size or length, you can actually use this spike to measure it, whether it is accurate or not and all that. So there are many more cases, and one of the most favorite one will be using it for valuations because they want to see whether is there any illegal extensions, and is the extension on site is actually what they actually applied for when they are actually when they do a comparison, so that they will be able to see whether this they need to charge the owner for illegal extensions or they are not. You know, so there are many more cases, especially for PBT.
Okay, great. So I think that's all the time we have today for the questions, and I believe there's some more questions that we are unable to get to. And if we haven't answered those questions, we will surely get back to you, reach out to you with a response later on. So
Okay.
just a little on what's coming up next on our webinar series. So on the November 25th, we have the third installment of the Geo Precision Agriculture webinar, the replanting planning solution. So for those who have been following this series, we have done part 1 and part 2. Be sure to check out this last one, the closed one, which is the third part over here. And also do keep a lookout for this space, esrimalaysia.com.my/webinars, and you can subscribe to the Esri Malaysia News to get more information on upcoming events and webinars. We really love your feedback. So take the time to fill out the brief survey that you will see pop up at the end of the session. Any further feedbacks or questions can be sent directly to events@esrimalaysia.com.my. That's events@esrimalaysia.com.my. And finally, if you would like to rewatch this webinar or share with your colleagues, the recording will be shortly available on the Esri Malaysia events page together with the slides. And I want to thank you, Alvin, once again, and thank you everyone for joining us today. And we will see you on the next Directions Live online webinar series. Goodbye.